So how we're packing our skis is we've got this ski bag through here, and basically we've got some paracord. We've got 1, 2 and another shirt down there. That's the shirt that Outdoor Research sent me, so check them out. So that's done this. We've got 3 shirts tied along the skis to protect the skis, and then we, because we've added a little bit of bulk to the end, it's a little bit more difficult to get in, but that's the skis in there, protected. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Nano 2, because I'm going to take that with me, and I'm going to put the Nano 2 around that, because I've protected this with my shirt, so that's protected, and I'm taking quite a bit of stuff with me, so I need to utilise as much space as I possibly can. So that's what we've done. That's the Nano 2 in there, and I've put the poles down there. Realistically, probably not going to get much more in there. A couple of bits maybe, you know, at an absolute pinch up there. So yeah, we might just jiggle this a little bit. There's a bit of space down here, so I might actually be able to funnel it down. The zip, this is some cheap Chinese thing, I think, from Amazon. So the zip wasn't very good when I did it up, but it has caught now. You know, I only caught on the thing, but you know, it's zipped up. But I think what I'm going to do is I will wrap some, once it's finished, wrap some tape around it. But that's the ski bag. So like I said, I think I'm going to funnel it down a little bit more, so that I can maybe just get, because there's a bit of space up there for putting something in up there. So that's the Duomid XL, and that's the Rutilacura Duomid XL poles, and that's a bag for the Namage. So we've basically got, so in here then we've got the skis wrapped around with shirts, Namage 2 with poles, Duomid XL with poles, and a soft set, and that's it. That's pretty much all we've got in that bag. Alright, so what we've got here, and obviously I'll show you this better out in Norway when I get back, but so this is the sleep system bag. So basically, realistically, for what I'm doing, you don't need this, but you know, I thought we would try it, depending on weather, and it's looking like it's starting to not be quite so cold, so we're going to just see how things go. So basically, within this bag you have your sleeping bag. You'll notice I've got this sleeping bag, this is my -21. It's not going to be cold enough for my brand new -30, but I have luckily, and I did it a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 months ago, booked the end of January next year, so exactly the same, a couple of days longer, but pretty much exactly the same, and I will 99% I think do exactly the same. But obviously it'll be colder at the end of January, so we'll get to use it next year. If it warms up any more, then even this bag is going to be too warm. But basically, the bag, it's not a bivy bag, so you can't sleep in it, but the bag has your sleep mat and sleeping bag, And obviously, if you want to, I've got it on a table here, so it's not ideal for showing. But obviously, you know, you've got a little bit of room, you know, there. You could put some bits in the sleeping bag, you know, so nighttime. So all nighttime, basically the idea is all nighttime stuff kind of goes in here. So when it's really cold, you basically kind of just pull this off the pulk, straight into the tent, open it up. You could just let that dangle on the ground, you don't need to put that away. Get into your sleeping bag, do your sleeping stuff. You could do your eating, your cooking, and then obviously then the next morning, rather than packing the sleeping bag away, you just basically, obviously probably a bit easier in a tent rather than on a table. And then and I'm trying to do it on top of the pulk as well. So and the bag is, it's about 4 inches wider than the mat. Basically, all your nighttime stuff would just go in there, and obviously if you wanted to, you could stuff the sleeping bag back a little bit, and depending on the weather conditions, obviously if it was snowing you wouldn't want too much, if any snow getting in, but you could probably brush it out if you had to. But you could probably put, because this would probably go near the top, although the tent would go across the top, you could probably get like something in there, like a day pack or something like that for, you know, instant access if necessary. And then I think we've got a couple of options. You could put that on the pulk. Remember, you're going to have poles coming off the front of the pulk, so you could probably actually have that there, kind of on the poles, that would, you know, would help keep it off. And then obviously there's a little bit back here, probably might be quite close to the ground, so you know, you maybe just want to have it forward a bit where they're on the poles, just to keep that off the ground. Obviously, because it's 2 meters and the pulk itself is, I think it's about 1.4, obviously you've got a little bit of overlap. I think the other thing that you can do is you can open up the valve, let the air out. I don't think you necessarily have to deflate the entire thing, although with the valve open it probably will just naturally deflate anyway. But you could fold it over itself. Obviously it sticks up quite a lot on the pulk, but you know, and you've got very generous straps that would go over that, and obviously you would be able to, I'm not going to push it down because I don't want to break the table, but that strap there comes up to here. So yeah, you would have to, you know, push down on it, but yeah, it's not impossible to get that strap over that. Steady. And then then you've got this strap here. You do get very generous straps, so that would come over there, and that, like that, and obviously you can compress this down quite a lot, and there's at least one or two more straps. You've got these loops here, 1, 2, so that kind of holds that one nicely in place. You've got loops here and here, and then there'll be at least one more strap in the middle here. So again, you could really get that down, quite a bit. Get that tight. And then when you get into camp, obviously you just pull that one out, take that one off, and then you just unfold it, drag it into the tent, open up, pump up the air, and that's your sleep system ready for the night. And obviously you've got enough room in there for your nighttime clothes and a few bits and bobs. You could probably put battery packs in there as well to protect them. So that's that. So I've now got to deflate this and get it back into the pulk so it's ready, to travel. But I wanted to just try it here. This is the main bag thing here, and then here, that's basically the Kieran 4 GT, and then that would go across the top. It all depends on weather and everything else like that. I'm taking the Kieran 4 GT, I'm going to take the Bella, I'm going to take the Nemaj 2 and the MLD Duramid XL, because I really don't know what the weather's going to do. So I'm going to take pretty much every option. Okay, so just a follow up to packing the pulk. So this camera bag here, which I would potentially put in the pulk, and a couple of cameras in there, because clearly if I'm walking or skiing carrying the pulk, clearly if you watch my camera accessory cameras and lenses, clearly it's impossible to carry all of that, on an actual pulk trip. So I've put this small lightweight camera bag in, which you will see when we're out there. I put the mat in there. I put a bag in there. That's the sleep system bag. This is my stove bag with all the cat hairs on it now. So that can go in there. So we've put pretty much everything in there that we had before. So this is probably going to be about 21 kilograms, because I've added the sleeping. What I've done is the tripod I've put in here, but under the Kieran 4 GT, which is, that's the Kieran 4 GT folded in half there, and then the tripod I put under it, so the weight of all of that, and then I've strapped the sleeping bag underneath, and then with the straps. So rather than putting the straps over that, I've put the straps over that. But actually now that everything is compressed down, what I might be able to do now, because obviously I've got the weight on everything, is now undo the straps that I put on the sleeping bag, because now all of this is weighing it down. And then just track that out. You will notice, if you're very observant, I'm taking my old my old sleeping bag, the minus 21, not the new minus 31. It's just not cold enough out there. Obviously I'll keep an eye on the forecast, and if the forecast changes over the next few days, then obviously this packing, it's now Monday, I'm not off until Friday, first thing Friday morning, but I've got so much going on the home front and everything else like that. It's kind of just a matter of let's get things packed while we can, and I think we will just about be able to do this up with all of this in there. That bit there, mind the kitchen table, the dining table I mean. I think especially it's a bit tight. This is where if you've got a friend with you, it's handy. We will. So basically in there we've got the Kieran 4GT, the sleeping bag, the sleeping mat, and other bits like that. So I'm currently showing as 80.4, which is a little bit heavier than I really like, but when I stand with that, so that is 101.3. So that is 80 to 101, 21 kilograms. So that's 21 kilograms, and the limit is 23, as I understand it. So that is now pussy hair all over it. So that's now that's the pulk and sleeping bag, tent, bed sheet, roll sheet. So effectively, I don't think the pegs are in there. I think the pegs are in a case. But short of pegs, we could literally take this, get the tent up. We've got the poles. We could get the tent up with this. We've got the sleeping mat. We could put that inside. We've got the sleeping bag. So effectively, this is everything sleep orientated pretty much.